Thanks to the support as a channel member, Jack Watson. Oh, I know the finances aren't looking too great going into this transfer window. It's a little bit, I feel like you might have set me budgets that are a little bit too high, maybe. No, I'm not saying it's your fault, but £1 million a week for a club our size on wages, it was always going to lead us to be in a little bit of debt. I will try and sell players as usual. I know we're moving into the new ground. It's just, it all looks a little bit iffy for once. I hope you're still going to give me some spensies. Hello? Hello and welcome to part 77 of the Greek Odyssey. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our season review and transfer special. And as mentioned in the little intro there, finances not looking too clever, really. For the first time in a long time, for the first time since before we sold Ryan Lawson, way back when, we're £20 million in debt. And it's all because of the wages. There's not been any major significant expenditures this season. Obviously, we've gone deeper in the Champions League than we've ever gone before. So income-wise, I'm not sure what that spike of income there is. Do we get another spike? That's like a... What was that? Where did all that money come from? Last season, £109 million. Oh, player sales, of course. That spike of money was player sales. So there'll be player sales this summer, of that I'm sure. But actual prize money-wise and income type, like proper income, I think we've probably had a better season than the one before. So gate receipts-wise have been the same. TV revenue, we've actually only had half the TV revenue, which I don't really understand. Because, unless we don't get our Champions League TV revenue yet, maybe. Because we're missing £5 million of Champions League TV revenue there. And we've gone deeper in the Champions League this year, so I'm a little bit confused. I think there must be some TV revenue coming through at some point. Prize money-wise, we've done better than last year, mainly because of that extra Champions League run, plus winning the Greek Cup has doubled our prize money from there. Merchandising, we've done better. Match day income is largely the same. I mean, everything is roughly equal or improved. We sold more players, but the balance has taken an absolute nosedive because while income is improving or staying level, we've massively increased one thing. And the one thing that we've massively increased is player wages. Last season, we spent £16.5 million on player wages. This season, £35 million on player wages. And if things carry on as they are, with us spending £1 million a week on wages, that's going to go up, if my maths is right, to £52 million a week next year. We need to fill that gap, and I'm hoping moving into the new stadium fills that gap and we're not forced into lots of player sales. We do move into the Apollon Stadium this summer, which we will come up with a better name for. Suggestions welcome down in the comments, but that takes our maximum capacity up from just under 15,000 to 23,500. Hopefully there's some expansion capacity on there as well, but at the very least we have an old stadium that was quite expensive to maintain, and we've now upgraded that for a new stadium, which will hopefully be a little bit cheaper to maintain. So we should bring in some more money there, you would think. We've also got a nice juicy looking stadium sponsorship deal as well. So all of that, everything there looks positive. The one slight worry is that unlike in previous years when our finances have looked good and we've been able to pretty much reinvest any player sales money, because the finances aren't looking great, we're only on a 30% transfer revenue retained situation. So although we've got players in this squad who are wanted by other clubs, Cordoba's been the obvious one for a long time, although he's not currently wanted by anyone. Sanchez, though, wanted by Paris Saint-Germain. Now, Sanchez, I look at him and think, in normal circumstances, 60 million, 70 million, we let him go. But if we do that this year, which we might still have to do, we've got German, who's out on loan, and we can't see at the moment. We go to the team report. But German was supposed to be the one of all of the young left wingers that we had, and I'm including De La Vega, Betancourt as well in there. German was supposed to be the one who was the best of all of them. He's still showing us 5-star potential. He's been out on loan at Basel this year, so he can just come slot straight into the team if we sell Sanchez. So progression is there. But this time round, if we sell Sanchez for 60 or 70 million, rather than being able to reinvest that money like we have in the past, we're only going to get like 15 to 20 million pounds, which isn't ideal, especially if we don't get a big budget to begin with, which I'll suggest we won't because of that. And on top of all that, of course, this year, this is the season where we have to replace Ryan Lawson. Going to be a busy one again, I think. Let's get into the season review stuff. So we have the overall best 11 to start things off. Kansarovic is the player who's made his way in to the all-time best 11. In fact, Sanchez as well. So Kansarovic and Sanchez both forcing their way into the all-time best 11. Sanchez on the bench, I think, with Kansarovic pushing his way in the starting side at left back. So the all-time best 11 team, Brunoli in goal. Brunoli still playing in Saudi Arabia, still going strong. 5 years after leaving us. I sold him on because I thought he was past it, and he's still going strong. A back four of Kansarovic, Lawson, Michaelis and Kalapitas. Lebreu at the base of the midfield. Lebreu playing for Sporting in Spain. One of a couple of players who went to Sporting last summer. They absolutely romped La Liga 2 last year, so they're going to be moving up into La Liga next season. Of which Lebreu will hopefully continue to be part of that team, as we hope he continues to perform well at club level and continue to maintain his spot in the Greek national team. Who was I think De La Vega was the other one who went to Sporting. We can check. If we have a look at Sporting, yeah, Pedro De La Vega is their key player now and was one of the top scorers in that league last year. 15 goals from midfield. Not too bad from De La Vega. So Sporting, thanks to us throwing players at them, have made their way back into the top league. Cordoba and Duffy, the rest of the midfield. Jura, who is still playing for Saint Etienne in Ligue 1 and seems to be having a rather pleasant time of things. On one wing, Marola, who's obviously still with us on the other side. And then Damien will forever be up front in this team. I am sure. Let's just see how he got on with his first year at Paris Saint-Germain. He's wanted by Liverpool and Tottenham. That's interesting. So are we to draw from that his first season at Paris Saint-Germain's been a little bit of a flop? 5 goals from 17 games, only 3 starts though, a 7.18. He has played a couple more times for England, but I mean, scout report wise, he's on a 56 scout rating. According to this, take this with a huge pinch of salt. But according to this, if we were to sign Damien back, he'd be our 4th best striker behind Carnevali, Acosta, Marola, with Vinicius almost as good as him. I am taking that with a big pinch of salt, but Damien might have done his best years for us. We'll see how he gets on if he goes back to England. And then a bench of Svilar, Kios, Januzas, Bozic, Andrutsos, Sanchez and Lewis. Let's just see how Bozic is getting on at Dortmund. We've obviously checked in with him already this year, but just a solid Bundesliga level midfield player. Kios, did he ever? He's played 9 games for Greece now, 25 years old, still playing in the 2nd division in Italy. He's not really the one, is he? Likewise, poor old Luris, not so good. People always ask about Halilaj as well at this point. So just to let you know how Halilaj is getting on. He's now playing for Xanthi. I keep getting told different ways to pronounce this one. But he was never good enough. He only ever played once for Albania. That was when he was really young. I think they were just taking a claim for him. So, best 11, where are they now? We've just done. End of season awards then. Sanchez wins player of the year, as you would expect. Duffy in 2nd place, Cordoba 3rd. Goal of the season goes to Acosta for this effort. Let's have a little look at this one to see what the best goal we scored this season was. I don't think Acosta takes free kicks. So this is just going to be a normal goal. He's picked it up just inside their half, and it's one way he's just going to run with it. He's gone past his man there. And I mean, that's a very good goal. I'll let him have that. That's a very good goal. Milo, signing of the season at 5.5 million. And Claudio Sanchez, young player of the year. And our team of the season is Osman in goal, a back four of Kansarovic, Michaelis, Lawson and Felipao. Milo at the base in the midfield, Cordoba and Duffy ahead of him. Sanchez, Carnevali, Lencina as the front 3. So looking at that, I would expect Sanchez and Lawson to probably not be part of this team next year. And we'll see if anyone comes back in from Cordoba. But I'm happy to keep Cordoba around. If Sanchez does go, we will not replace him with another non-EU player. We'll try and, same with Cordoba, we'll try and stick to just the 5 non-EU players in the squad so that we don't ruin the progress of players like Acosta, who can't play regularly because he's one of the 8 foreign players and we can only play 5. As you can see, this season's very much been the Claudio Sanchez show, top scorer, highest average rating, most assists, most red cards as well. Tenessi's in there with best pass completion, but what a season for Claudio Sanchez. 21 years old now. Don't know how he's not made his Argentina debut, but 25 appearances, 18 goals, 9 assists, 6 man of the match, and a 7.82. That loan in Turkey last year did him the world of good because he's come back a completely different player from the one we had in that first season when he was with us. So Sanchez, I think, will probably be our big money sale of the summer. There's the review of the season. Fantastic season. Won the league, won the cup, got to the quarterfinal of the Champions League. All good stuff. Club vision wise, is there anything being added onto this? Let's go onto the negotiate page to check. The only thing that's been added, so nothing's been changed about the club culture or the 5-year plan. The only thing that's being added for 2 years' time, I guess, win silverware, which is fine. We win silverware anyway. I mean, the Super League 1 is silverware, so I don't know why win silverware needs to be added in as well, because the goal is win Super League 1 every year. Next season, looking to just reach the Champions League group stage, which we've already done. Huzzah! So, move on from there. Team leaders, Michaelis, Cordoba, Lawson. So Lawson definitely leaving. Cordoba maybe leaving. Means that we're going to need some of these other players to step up. And I guess we're really looking at Kansarovic and Duffy. Kalapitas is never going to be a regular starter again, I wouldn't have thought. Osman is a good shout. Marola is more of a fringe player these days as well. But we've got an excellent dressing room atmosphere, excellent managerial support. And for the first time in a long time, I don't anticipate us having massive changes to personnel this summer. In before Kev signs 13 players. But I don't think we're going to get a lot of money to spend. I don't think we'll be given a lot of money, and I don't think we need to sign a lot of players. We got to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, for goodness sake, with a very young side. If we look at the age of that team that's played in that Greek Cup final, 22, 22, 23, 26, old man Michaelis in there, 21, 22, 26 again, 23, 21, 21, 20. This team's just going to get better and better. That 11 could win the Champions League in 3 years. That might be a little bit ambitious, but I know we're going to sell a few of them, but we also have more coming through on the conveyor belt. So if we have a look at our team report, we go to the squad depth, filter it to 3 star. Oh, 3 stars doesn't give us a lot. It's another one where it's kind of skewed by having the likes of Cordoba, Sanchez and Lencina, who are fantastic. So if we sort that, hide players who are definitely leaving, but future transfers in, I don't think we've got any. But if we have a look on 2 stars, we don't need a striker. Carnevale, Acosta, Vinicius. What we need to do is be able to have Acosta and Vinicius on the bench. So we need to move Sanchez and Cordoba on, arguably. On the left wing, Sanchez, but German's ready to step in. Carnevale can be a backup. Paniolis is still knocking around as well. If Acosta and Vinicius can play more up front, Carnevale can drop out onto the wing. I still expect him to be a winger eventually. He's only 5'7". He feels too short to be a striker. And I don't know. I think he'll end up as our left winger. On the right, we've got Lencina, who's fantastic and only going to get better. Marola as backup. We're fine there. Central midfield, we've got Cordoba, who I'd kind of like to move on if we can get a 40 or 50 million pound deal for him. Duffy, and then Gufas, Dominguez, of course, as the 2 youngsters, Benatos as well. We've got Pepe in there as well. We don't need another midfielder, even if we sell Cordoba. A defensive midfield, Milo gets the job done. Filipao can play there as well. Obviously, he's needed at right back. So you could argue there's a spot for a defensive midfielder, but Michaelis can play there. Cordoba, Benatos, there's lots of players who can play there if they need to. So I don't think it's essential to go and bring another one in. At left back, we've got a conveyor belt going here as well. Bruno Rafael is our best at the club, but he's non-EU, so he's out on loan. Kansarovic, Pezic, we could sell one of these 3 this summer and be absolutely fine. If Real Madrid want to come in for Rafael again and give us a big pile of cash, we'll take it. Where we really need to strengthen, though, is centre-back. Lawson's going to be leaving, so we've got Michaelis, Parola, who's recovering from damaged cruciate ligaments. Hernandez, who looks like he's going to be fantastic, but he's another non-EU player, which isn't ideal. So we probably need a centre-back. Right back, we've got Felipao, Kalapitas. I'm happy with that. I don't mind having Kalapitas as a backup in multiple positions. And then in goal, Tennessi and Osman. So really all we need a centre-back. And then we probably don't need much else. Let's see what we sell, I guess. Let's see how much money we're going to get. Let's hit continue. Are we actually going to have some spensies at all? there's the initial budgets up there. So yes, Domenico Carnevali deserves an international call-up, but budgets are pathetic. Holy smokes. Well, the wage budget's been increased to 1.1 million a week, which is lovely, but we've effectively been given no transfer budget. A 1.1 million pound transfer budget. The only way we're signing players this summer is if we sell first, even if we adjust the budgets. Yeah, we've got to sell to buy, and we've got to sell a lot to be able to buy anything any good. I don't think there's going to be much business this summer. It's coefficients o'clock, boys and girls. So Super League is still 9th, apparently, which feels like we need to be pushing on a little bit here. This isn't the nation one, is it? This is the reputation of the league. So this isn't the coefficient thing. So we do have a better reputation now than Turkey, Ukraine, Belgium, Austria, but still lagging behind Netherlands, Portugal, Russia. They're all the other 3.5-star leagues. We need to push on there. So that's that. Club rankings. We've moved up 12 places. So we are ranked 18th in Europe now, which presumably puts us well ahead of any other Greek clubs, which I think is where the problem is going to lie. We need to start juicing some of these clubs with some transfer fees and some good players. The only problem is we don't have the money to do it at the moment. Maybe not nick their best talent off them would be the best idea. So yeah, the next best, you know what? PAOK 21st, Olympiacos 32nd. That's not a disaster. We've got a few other clubs knocking around where they should be, but 18th place is awesome. So that's a 5-year average that's used for seedings. Okay. What we also want to have a look at is the coefficients, which I know they show them at us at some point, but I can never remember when that point is. So that's what I thought we were doing now. So let's have a look at them now. So this is the nation club coefficient. You can see by coefficient, Greece is 6th. So we are ahead of the Netherlands and Turkey and Russia and Portugal when we look at it this way. And we are closing in on France. We're just 2, in fact, yeah, for both this summer or next year and the year after, we'll only be 2 points behind France. But France have had better recent performances. So actually, we're unlikely to close that gap anytime soon unless we can get some more clubs getting up to our level. So 5 years ago, we were roughly level with France. We had a better year. That's the year we got to the Europa League final. But then the following year, France were better. The year after that, France were much better. And this year just gone, France still better than us. So it's the Paris Saint-Germain effect. It's a problem. We're both of us, we're kind of the two one club nations. It's just their one club is better than our one club at the moment. But that shouldn't affect our qualification spots. No, so we still get 2 group stage and 1 qualifier. So we're getting the same entry requirements as France. What we really want is to get up to the point where we get 4 straight into the group stage, but we're so far behind Germany. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Yeah, we're well behind Germany. There's no way for us to catch Germany without some other clubs getting up to our level. And that's kind of out of my control. Unless, as has been suggested in the comments by a few people, I start letting them win the league, which just seems like a bad idea. They're getting into the Champions League already. From there, they've got to just kind of do it for themselves, I think. PAOK last year. PAOK. No, it's like that, isn't it? PAOK. So they were in the Champions League last year, but they're not actually going to be in Europe at all this year, but they're rich because of their Champions League money. They spend some of it. They've only spent 10 million of it. Spend some of it. You made all that money. Spend some of it. I can't force them to spend the money. Who finished second this year? Ike. So Ike are going to be straight into the Champions League group stage with us. So there should be money for them. They are spending a little bit, but to be fair, they're still operating on a net transfer profit, which I guess so are we. But spend something. You've got money. Spend it. Well, it is the 1st of July. We've sold a few players as we look to try and generate a little bit of spensies. So Benatos has gone. He's gone to Benevento. So he's going to be playing in Serie A next season. He had a little bit of a run in the team toward the end of the season. Didn't look disastrous. Didn't ever look like he was going to be a regular starter for us. If he's ever going to break into the Greek national team, he needs regular football. He's not getting it here, so he can go and try and get it there. So he's gone. Unlikely to miss him as he was in poor form. He's been in the form of his career those last few games. And we also sold Delas, who came in last year as a little bit of an experiment of what happens if we sign the best young Greek player. Well, what happened was he's not as good as the best young Argentinian players. Very much a victim of having Sanchez and German in his position, but he's gone to go and join the collection of players at Sporting who are still showing as being in La Liga 2. Actually, it's just because the season hasn't ticked over to the new one in Spain yet, but he goes to join De La Vega and Lebrou. Not that he'd know either of them because they both left before he arrived. But he goes to join the ex-Apollon contingent there. We've also got a young player who's come in who we agreed to sign, presumably before I was off on my holidays. I don't remember anything about him. But Alexis Savidis is an 18-year-old Greek striker, although he's described, I'm sure it said winger there before. He's definitely a striker. He's a target man, comes in from Olympiacos. We've spent £3 million on him. He's almost as good as Vinicius. I'm obviously not going to use a target man, so he needs to learn to play in a more appropriate position for the way that I play. Realistically, we've just brought him in to have him. He's a 5-star potential Greek youngster. I'm not going to start using a target man. I think we'll probably just loan him out for a few years and then sell him on at a profit. It's probably the worst thing we could have done for developing Greek football. What was Pascal thinking? I guess it's better that we've got him than Olympiacos, except that's the opposite of the actual situation. Because if Olympiacos had had him, they might play him. Right, we've got the non-EU problem again. Because we've got too many of them. And that's without Filipao in. So that's 10. If we play everybody, if we have everybody in the squad, we've got 10. So we need to get rid of at least 2 of our non-EU players. Let's just sort them by ability and take the 2 lowest ability ones out of this squad. Just for the purposes of now, which would be... who would it be? Not come across any of them yet. Look how far down Parola's fallen. Raphael, who's 2.5 star. And wanted... I mean, he's just going to have to go out on loan again, I think. He's still got 5-star potential. Had a full season in the Liga last year, but I think we probably need to loan him out again. I've just lost him. Bruno Raphael, where are you? You can come out of the squad. And then who would be the next worst? Hernandez. But the problem is he's one of our better centre-backs and he was playing in Serie A last year as a centre-back for Udinese. And I think we probably do need him in the squad. So we probably need to get rid of one of the strikers or either Sanchez or Cordoba. For now, let's just take him out so we can confirm that squad. That's certainly not the final version of the squad, though. Paniolis, I think he's probably just going to go out on loan again. I mean, he's done. He's a 2-star player. They want to pay all his wages. That's fine. Pay all his wages. Papananigin, I've never learnt to say this guy's name, but a season of loan football would do him the world of good if they're going to pay his wages, which they're probably not, are they? No, so you're not having him. And then here's the Sanchez offers, and they are laughable. Can I point out to the world how much we got last season? I don't think we're selling anybody this summer. Because last summer, how much did we get? £50 million for Sension, who, I mean, he's fine at Tottenham, but not pulling up any trees. Betrancourt, 38 million for him, who was 2 years older than Sanchez and not as good. It's got to be a record sale. Sanchez doesn't leave for less than £60 million. These offers are a joke. So we're going to say 80. Yeah, well, Valencia, I don't want to sell him. So no use you getting grumpy about it, Valencia. I don't want to sell him. So I'm going to put ridiculous values on, and you're going to have to decide if you want him or not. Becchios. Again, a season of loan football for him. He's never going to make it now, is he? He's 6'6", so unless we keep him around, because if Hernandez isn't in the squad and Kalapitas is our right back backup and Medina is another non-EU player, Becchios is actually like 3rd choice centre back at the moment. We haven't been able to identify anyone to bring in yet. he's not good enough. He can go and play for Panathinaikos. If that was Olympiakos, then I'd say, oh, maybe we can give him a game. But he's 21, and that's the level of club that are in for him. That tells me all I need to know, I think. He can go and play for them. And if he forces his way into Team of the Year or something along those lines, he's still got the opportunity to come back and play for us again. But I'm not gonna force things. Right. We can't afford anyone who's any good. We've got £3 million to spend. Who was that for a free? Centre-back, a 22-year-old Italian centre-back. Yes, please. We'll have a bit of you. Come in on trial. What? How is he on here, but he's not scouted? I don't understand. What filters have we got on here? Oh, we are filtering for centre-back. Okay. We'll do our usual thing. We'll see if there's any trialists we can bring in. We're not obviously going to get Ryan Lawson at those prices, but I don't think we're going to do any business. This is the weirdest summer ever. But when you've got no money to buy a player, own a player. Manchester City might not have been able to let us have Ryan Lawson back on loan again. In fact, I thought this guy was from City. He's actually from Real Madrid. Well, that sentence is a load of nonsense then. But we obviously couldn't get Ryan Lawson back, but we have got Christian Criado, who's a 20-year-old Spanish wonder kid centre-back, 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. He's in on a 2-season loan. He's as good as Michaelis. He's better than Pirola. Yeah, there's our Lawson replacement. Sorted. We've still got no money. It's a very, very frustrating summer. We've got a lot of our fringe players on the way out of the club as well, as I'm just trying to generate any kind of cash. So you can see Benatos has left, Delas has left. This is a youngster, Makis Arapis, came through our youth system. Obviously not good enough. He certainly wasn't showing that kind of potential to our coaches. I know you lot will tell me that my scouts are better than my coaches, and maybe I got this one wrong. If I did, so be it. He might end up playing for Greece going that way. Bekios, Paniolis have both left the club on loan as well. And we did try and sign this guy, who is a Greek wonder kid, 20-year-old striker who was at Chelsea, but we obviously couldn't afford to spend money on him. We had a loan agreed with Chelsea. He was coming in on a 2-season long loan, which would have allowed me to sell either Acosta or Vinicius, or maybe both, because this guy could have then competed with Carnevali, with a view to him coming in permanently at the end as an actual Greek wonder kid, but he went to Wolfsburg permanently instead. But we're trying to get the Greek players in. They just don't exist. But the squad looks fine. As it stands right now, I can go into this season with this squad and be happy. German is now back and involved in the squad. We probably need to let Vinicius go out on loan because we're really harming his development. I know he was injured for a lot of last season. He did have that 5-month injury when he was out with an Achilles tendon injury. So it's not that we just weren't playing him, but he's been here a year and a half now and he's only played 18 games. He has scored 7 goals in that time. But like a 2-season loan to a Spanish club, if we can get him to agree to like a 4-year contract with us first and then go out on loan to some Spanish club for 2 years to get a Spanish passport, and then come back, I'd be on board with that. Otherwise, we might have to look to sell him and bring in an EU player behind him because we've still got this situation where we've got one too many EU players in the squad and we need to fix it. Well, that's been a frustrating summer. We never did spend any more money or sell anyone, which I guess is the positive. 10 million in, 3.1 million out. You can see there's been quite a lot of the fringe players who've gone out on loan. The notable ones, I guess, Rafael has gone back to Spain. He's gone to Villarreal for the season. When he returns, he will have a Spanish passport. So he will no longer be a problem, which is good. So he has gone out on loan to that. Gufas has also gone out on loan to Cagliari for the year. Just a season in Serie A is not going to do him any harm. He's done it before. He can go and do it again. He wasn't going to get regular game time for us. Playing in Serie A has got to be a good thing for him. Likewise with Papanagis, he's gone out to Parma for the season to get some game time over in Serie A. The only other signing we made was Dave Van Rooij, who's a 19-year-old Dutch striker on loan from Liverpool for 2 years, 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. The reason we brought him in is because I decided to leave Vinicius out of our squad. So he's not in the Super League squad to fit Hernandez in as a defender. So Vinicius is done. We've tried to loan him out. We've tried to sell him. He's turned down moves to leave. He's on £71,000 a week. I think he would have turned out great if we'd have been able to play him or if he hadn't have got the injury. But you can see from pre-injury, post-injury, I just don't think he's going to make it now after the long-term injury. Certainly not without getting lots of game time, and he's not going to get that for us. So he's hopefully going to go to Galatasaray, which will give us another 2 or 3 million to spend. We'll then have somewhere in the region of £8 to £9 million to spend. It's still not enough to bring in a player, so we probably won't. We'll make do with these 2 loans. But I think it's a decent-looking squad. If we have a look at our squad depth on the team report, I don't think there's a position there where we're particularly weak now. So I guess I can't really complain with that as a summer. It just feels a little anticlimactic after the last couple that we've had, but it could end up being the best thing that could ever happen to us, because that squad that got to the quarterfinals of the Champions League last year has now got the opportunity to have another crack at it. And all we've really done is lost Lawson and added in another wonder kid defender who might end up even better than Lawson was. So who knows? If we have a look at the season preview stuff, you can see we still have the strongest bunch of players in the league. Interestingly, Acosta is considered the best striker. Carnevale is in, but out wide, so no room for Lencina. Tenesi is considered our best goalkeeper. He's been playing for Argentina all summer, and I think we need to try and find a way to shoehorn him into the team this year. He's going to be able to start in goal because the season's going to start without Sanchez. Sanchez is injured, which does give us a gap for another non-EU player. So this is likely to be the team that you see play in tomorrow's episode, with Tenesi in goal. German, who's back from his couple of seasons out on various loans, he's going to start on the left-hand side and will hopefully be the next in the long line of left wingers that we've been developing here at the club. Carnevale is going to have to start up front because there's no room on the bench for Acosta with the five foreign players already used, which means Van Rooy, he's likely to get game time. He's a target man, but a target man who we can turn into a complete forward relatively easily. I look at that as a complete forward and think he's not really missing much in the way of the attributes he needs to be a complete forward. So he should be fine. He should fit into our team rather nicely. We have been turning down offers for Carnevale all summer. I want a record sale, and clubs aren't offering more than like 30 million for him. So on that basis, we don't need to sell. So we'll keep the squad together and see how we get on in the coming season. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.